Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. In the previous classes, we studied about the different data types and then the classification of the data types. Then later on we saw the number of bytes, the range of values as well as the default values. In that we saw the numeric types, which are again divided into two groups, the integer ones as well as the fractional ones. Then we saw the non-numeric ones. Today we are going to see variables. In the junior classes you have studied what are variables. Variables are the memory locations which are holding a certain value, and that value can be of any data type. So what are variables? Variables are the memory locations which are holding a value of any particular data type. For example, we want to store your name. Suppose your name is Anne. So that time you have to store that particular name, then we have to give a data type for that. Anne is string, so there is no primitive data type. As I said earlier, we have to have a class. Which class? String class. Okay, then if you want to have a fractional value, then we have to have either the double or the float. Okay, let us see. Double price, the data type as well as the variable name. So this price represents a location in the memory. As you have studied in the junior classes, our memory will be having lots of locations. So many locations will be there. Those locations are the bytes. And this price will be stored somewhere in the memory, which we will not be able to identify. Since the human beings cannot identify the location in the memory, we are using a particular name. This name is used for that. Variable names are used to represent the memory locations. And then we are using a symbolic name. The variable name is a symbolic name which is representing a memory location. That is, we gave, suppose price is equal to 10.50. This 10.50 will be stored in some location in the memory, and that location will be named as price. So I think you understood. Variables are the memory locations which are used to hold a value of any data type. Suppose you want to store your age, then what will you give? Int. Normally we say 15 years, 16 years, 14 years. So int age, it is a whole number. You can say int age is equal to 14. Suppose you want to have a very small range of values, then we can have byte b is equal to 3. So among those 8 primitive data types, we can use any one to store the value. And now, what kind of a data type we require is depending on the value what we have to store. I think you understood. What data type we should use is decided by the nature of the value. If you have to store a fractional value, you have to go for float or double. And if you have to have a whole number with a small range, then we have a byte, short, int. Suppose you have some more large value to be stored, then we can go for long. For example, suppose you want to store the phone number of someone, then phone number normally contains 10 digits. Byte is not sufficient because byte has minus 128 to plus 127. Range is not sufficient. Short is not sufficient. Int can be, but the best one among all these integer one is long. So in order to store a particular value, we have to decide what data type should be used. That depends on the nature of the value. Suppose normal fractional numbers are to be stored, then we can go for float. Suppose we have to have a fractional numbers with the more decimal places, then we have to go for double. The other day we saw float has 5 digits of precision and double has got 15 digits of precision. But is double can have a large range of values, so we will go for double. I think it is clear. Yes. Now, suppose you want to store your name. Char data type can store only one letter. Suppose you are giving char gender. A gender of the fellow will be set either M for male, F for female, etc. in single character. In those cases, char data type is sufficient. But if you want to store name of someone, then one character cannot be stored, so we have to go for string, which is a class. So we will use string name is equal to an. Okay, when more than one character is there, we have to go for string class. I think it is clear. Yes. Now, in the examinations, sometimes you will be given with certain values, certain constants will be given. And you have to find out what data type is the suitable one for that. Understood what I said? Certain values will be given to you, and then you have to decide what data type should be used for that. Let us see. See, these are the values which we have to represent. Let us see one by one. What is the best suitable data type for these values? First one, which is a fractional one. You know, float and double are there in our custody. We can have which one? Since it is a normal fractional number, we can go for float. Okay. And I told you one thing that day. Java has got a nature of considering a value as a fractional value as double. So you can declare it as either float or a double. Okay, let us give it as float. Next one, 678. Yes, the best suitable one will be 8. 12.6. Again we can have a float. A fractional number with the more decimal places. The best one we can say that it is the double. Minus 9.8. Every data type of Java are signed. What is meant as signed? It can have a positive values as well as negative values. In certain programming languages, C language, C++ language and etc., we can have only positive numbers. We can prevent a particular data type to be of only the positive one. So we can say that they are unsigned. Unsigned ones are taking only positive values. But what is in Java? Java contains all the primitive data types as signed one, which is capable of taking positive values as well as negative values. Okay, next 6.795 double. Within double quotation, we have number as well as letters and the special symbols. The best suitable one is string. Then 13/5/2020. Then that also should be a string because symbols cannot be given in between numbers. Then suppose you have a number something in this large figure. Go for long. Is it clear? So this kind of question can be asked in the board examination. Next we have a initialization of the variables. Initialization. Just now I wrote int a. A variable is declared with the integer data type, but its value is not specified. That means we have not initialized. In order to initialize it, we can give it as int a is equal to 20. Later on in the program, you are giving a is equal to 30. What happens? The previous value a will be overwritten. That means within the memory, there will be a location which is represented with a symbolic name a holding a value 20. Later on in the program, we made the same location with a new value 30. So the previous values are overwritten. Okay. Next, the variable initialization can be of two types. One is static one and the second one is dynamic initialization. What is static initialization? A variable gets its initial value during the compilation process. That is known as static initialization. It is not the static keyword. It is not because of the static keyword. When the compiler is compiling a program, if a variable gets a value, we will say that it is static initialization. Let us see with the help of an example. See, int a equal to 20 is given in a class sample. Within the class we gave int a equal to 20. So when we compile this program, void main and so sopln a enclosed class list. Just to compile this program. While compiling this location, a will be created with a value 20. That is called as static initialization. But certain variables are there which are not knowing their value at the time of compilation. Let us see. Int b is equal to 2 and int c. C will have an initial value 0 because we saw in Java the default value for integer will be 0. So A has got its value 20, B has got its value 2 and C's value is not found, or otherwise we are just removing it. We will give here int C is equal to A by B. While compiling this program, A's value is known, that is 20. B's value is also known, 2, because it is static initialization. The value of C will be available only when this expression is executed. Okay? The value of this variable C is available only when this execution is done or the expression is executed. So we say this is dynamic initialization. Dynamic initialization gets the value when an expression is executed or when the program is running. I think you understood the difference. Thank you.